Hi, I'm Marianne Bartuccelli from Tastefully Yours Cake Art. Welcome to Cake TV, brought to you by Renshaw. Today I'm going to show you how to do this very cute bunting that I used to finish off this cake. I've pre-iced my cake with the Renshaw fondant coloured with the Rainbow Dust ProGel colours. To achieve an antique look, I've added just a very small amount of brown, tiny bit of black. So you'll be able to gauge that once you start kneading your fondant. Okay, I've got a little bit of Renshaw fondant and I'm going to colour that to a very soft brown, and that's what we're going to use for our buttons. So just add a very tiny bit to the icing, keep folding it over and kneading it to get that colour fully through the icing. Okay, I've kneaded the fondant till it's nice and smooth. What I'll do is add a little bit of gum trag, and what this will do is make it a little bit firm so the button will set up nicely. So we'll just knead that in well. So once we've got our gum trag all nicely blended, we take a small ball, roll it in the palm of your hand till it's nice and smooth, and we press it into the silicone mould. Press firmly just to the top. If you have any excess, make sure you take it off the top with a knife or a palette knife. So press it in, and the best way to release these is pop them into the freezer, leave them there for about 5 minutes, then come back and you'll be able to take them out of the mould very easily. Okay, I've taken my mould out of the freezer. It's been in there for a couple of minutes and I can easily peel the button out. Okay, now we just want to remove the centre holes, and for that I use a small piping tip. So straight through. I've created a template for the placement of the bunting. I've done this in pencil. This straight edge will be the top of the cake and the scallops will be where the bunting is placed. Line up the edge with your cake, the top edge of your cake. So where the line is, keep it nice and straight. You can actually pin them. So once our fondant has firmed up, we can use this technique to transfer the tracing. So gently rubbing across the design, we just want a faint imprint to leave a guideline for our bunting. Now if you're doing this on a freshly iced cake, just simply go with your tool and create a line. So either way, you're still covered. So I've got my Renshaw icing ready to go. I've added my ProGel colours and just a touch of the gum trag to make it a little bit firmer when we pass it through the pasta machine. So I've got a little bit of corn flour here in this pouch that I'll dust the bench with, roll it out, just so it passes through the pasta machine a lot easier. Now I'll turn on my machine. Okay, I've taken it down to number 4 setting on our Kenwood chef. For the bunting, I find to get a really clean line, I like to use a quilter's ruler that you can buy from your local craft store. So simply place that down, get a very sharp blade, or you can use a pizza cutter. And what I'm going to do is create 1-inch squares. So there's inch markings on there, so it's very easy to see. So just line that up and try not to pass it through all at once unless you're going to do a direct cut. Turn it that way, make sure everything's nice and straight still. So we've got 3 there, and on our actual cake we only need 2. Once again, using your ruler, your quilter's ruler, line up the edge of your square that you've just cut. Go from the top edge, the top corner, through to that centre marking of the 1-inch square and simply cut through. This will create the flag that you're looking for. So do this exactly the same on the other side. So line up that centre point and cut. And there's our perfect little flag. Okay, now that we know how to do our bunting triangles, let's go ahead and do all the other colours. Okay, now we're going to start our string line that holds our bunting. So I've got some of the white fondant, and what I'm going to do is actually make it a little bit softer. So I'm adding just a little bit of vegetable shortening and kneading that in well because it needs to pass through the extruder. Okay, taking some water and a small brush, we're going to trace over that line of the template, which will also remove the pencil mark, but not enough that we won't see. The water will leave a trail anyway, so you'll know where you're going to go. It won't just disappear. We're just going to do one at a time. So making sure there's enough water on for a connection. So using our extruder, I just rest it on the top and then we let gravity take effect. And because the water's there, it's going to stick and we're not actually touching it. Just bring it around a little bit more for me so I can see exactly where I'm going to drop this line. And just gently with your finger, just make sure it's nice and smooth to follow that line. You can use a paintbrush or something else. And then with our blade, we can simply remove the excess icing. And then we do this for the same side. Okay, we've got our flags ready to go. I've rolled out my fondant just to a little bit thinner, so we don't want to create too much bulk onto the top of the flags. So taking your blade again, so just gently press in, move the excess icing away, move down, cut again, and do this a few times so we've got the stripes ready to go. Okay, I've got some water and a fine paintbrush. I'm going to brush that over the surface of the flag, take my strips and place them on. You can straighten up any edges with your tool here. Now we take that blade again and cut off the excess so we have a nice clean edge. So continue doing that for the rest of the flags that have the stripes. So using our dried out fondant again, we're going to cut with the small tip, remove it with a small skewer so we've got our circles ready to decorate. These can be a little bit tricky to pick up, so use the damp end of your brush and then place them down. Just in a nice pattern. So 3 on top, then go down to 2, and then go down to 1. And there we are, another finished flag. Okay, our next technique is some hand painting. We're just going to use our rainbow paint white, and directly from the pot, we've got a very, very fine paintbrush, and we're going to paint little stripes. So we're just little dashes, just to emulate like a stitching pattern. So keep going all the way around each of the flags, and this will create a beautiful effect. Okay, we've got a few of our flags ready to go, so I'll show you how to apply them to the cake. So we use our edible glue from Rainbow Dust, and we'll just pop a little bit on our brush. Turn our flag over, quite gently, we don't want to damage all the good work that we've done already, and start placing them just directly under the string line that you've created already. So still using our sugar glue, we'll apply the buttons. So just to the tops, even extending a little bit above the rim of the cake, and continue doing that across and for the rest of our flags, and the cake will be done. Okay, here's our finished cake. I've repeated the pattern on the other side with the flags and added the buttons. If you're wanting to add a slogan or something fun to say like I have here, use your food art pen from Rainbow Dust. The fine end will achieve this effect. So I've added the trim on the bottom just with some ribbon and made this cute little guy just to add a bit of fun to this cake out of Renshaw fondant. My name is Marianne Bartuccelli from Tastefully Yours Cake Art. Thanks so much for joining us for Cake TV, brought to you by Renshaw. Some Rainbow, that's not Rainbow. Just a silicone.